When you were able to get out of bed and face the day without hesitation, do you recall that? Don't worry if your legs aren't as agile as they once were. You're not the only one. However, what if I told you that there is a method to restore some of your youthful energy? It isn't a new technology or a miracle medication. It's something more organic and much simpler. People, we are going to reveal 7 vitamins and minerals that may be essential for maintaining strong, stable legs long into old age. These nutrients could be crucial for maintaining your independence, keeping up with the grandchildren at the park, or just feeling more self-assured when you're out and about. Put an end to your concerns about shaky feet or those annoying muscle cramps. I understand what you're thinking now. All of this is nothing new to me. I assure you, however, that this is not your typical health advice. You might be surprised by what we're going to disclose because we've done our research. Why don't you take a seat in your favorite chair, pour a cup of tea, and prepare to discover more about the first vitamin on our list? You've probably never considered it for leg health, but it's one that may already be in your kitchen. Are you prepared to begin your journey toward more robust and dependable legs? Starting today, feel free to ask any questions you may have by leaving a comment below. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can always receive Senior Health's top health advice. Together, let's build a stronger, healthier future. We'll examine the top 6 vitamins for leg strength in our video and rate them from 6 to 1. The third will take you by surprise. Now, let's begin. 6th, potassium. Imagine getting out of bed in the morning to find your calf cramping painfully. It's a common sensation that frequently indicates a potassium deficiency. This vital mineral controls the fluid balance in muscle cells, which is important for muscular health. Those bothersome cramps, especially in the legs, can result from muscles automatically tightening due to a potassium deficit. This issue can become a major obstacle for elderly persons who may have less muscle mass or worse circulation, making it much more severe. But there are other issues than cramping. Have you experienced stiffness when walking, or noticed your legs trembling after standing for a while? Potassium is essential for smooth control because it helps your neurons and muscles communicate with each other. Lack of it can interfere with this communication, making you shaky, weak, or unable to raise your feet, all of which increase your chance of falling. Preventing falls is crucial for senior citizens. Potassium is good for bones as well as muscles. Over time, it can reduce bone density by neutralizing bodily acids. A diet high in potassium may decrease bone loss, reducing the risk of osteoporosis and strengthening the legs, according to research. Potassium thus guarantees that your legs' muscles and bones work together harmoniously. What are some ways to ensure that your legs are receiving adequate potassium? There are fortunately lots of delectable options. Although bananas are a well-known source of potassium, other excellent sources include sweet potatoes, avocados, spinach, beans, and oranges. Compared to bananas, even roasted potatoes with their skins provide more potassium. The key is to eat a range of these foods daily to maintain healthy bones and muscles. Although supplements may appear enticing to people who find it difficult to achieve their potassium needs through diet alone, how much potassium is required? Men should strive for 3,400 milligrams per day, while women should aim for 2,600 milligrams. This may usually be achieved by eating a well-balanced diet full of fruits, vegetables, and legumes. To determine the proper amount, you should carefully monitor your intake and speak with a doctor if you have health conditions like kidney disease or high blood pressure that affect potassium levels. 5. Vitamin B12. When talking about leg strength, the main topics of discussion are typically calcium and protein, while vitamin B12 is sometimes overlooked. On the other hand, neuromuscular function requires vitamin B12. It contributes to maintaining the health of your nerves by making sure that the electric impulses from your spinal cord effectively reach your legs. Your muscles may receive incorrect signals if you don't get enough B12. which can cause problems like weakness, instability, and a loss of motor control. Legs that feel heavy and exhausted, sometimes with tingling or numbness, are a common symptom of a B12 shortage. Sadly, people in their later years are generally affected by this handicap. In contrast to other vitamins that the body either stores in fat or easily absorbs from a range of foods, the absorption of vitamin B12 is highly reliant on the digestive system's operation. In order to extract vitamin B12 from food, a protein called intrinsic factor and enough stomach acid are required. Age-related declines in stomach acid production are common, and conditions including acid reflux, gastritis, and prolonged antacid use can further hinder absorption. Moreover, a large proportion of the elderly consume diets lacking in foods strong in B12, which unintentionally causes a gradual loss of this vital element. Vitamin B12 deficiency can cause more serious problems than only weakness. Additionally, irreversible nerve damage may arise, which may impact an individual's reflexes, balance, and coordination. The neurological repercussions of vitamin B12 deficiency are actually being felt by a large number of senior people who have symptoms like falling frequently, having trouble walking, or feeling as though their legs are dying. The normal aging process is sometimes mistakenly attributed to this degeneration because it is frequently so gradual. But it is entirely preventable in every manner. Energy and mobility may be greatly increased by replenishing decreased B12 levels. Elderly adults who are able to overcome this deficiency report notable improvements in their leg function, strength, and endurance, according to research. However, from where does this vital vitamin come? Animal products are the primary source of vitamin B12, in contrast to many other nutrients that can be found in plants. Lean meats, fish, eggs, and dairy products are the best providers of this vitamin, as are shellfish, especially clams and liver. It is crucial for those on plant-based diets or with impaired B12 absorption to take B12 supplements and eat foods that have been boosted, like cereals and plant-based milks. The good news is that the body readily excretes any excess vitamin B12 through urine. When taken as a supplement, vitamin B12 is one of the safest vitamins. Many older individuals may benefit from monthly injections or high-dose B12 supplements, particularly if they have limited dietary absorption of B12. Blood can be regularly monitored to maintain proper levels and stop the progressive decline in leg function associated with insufficiency. The most significant lesson here is that having strong legs is not just about having strong muscles. They also depend on sharp reflexes, excellent coordination, and healthy nerve activity. No matter how much you work out, your legs won't be able to move as much as they should if your nerves aren't functioning correctly. It is a powerful method that is commonly overlooked, but one of the best strategies to retain mobility and quality of life as you age is to maintain appropriate amounts of vitamin B12. 4. A nutrient that is necessary for maturing gracefully into old age is vitamin D. Our bodies undergo changes as a result of aging naturally. This causes the muscle mass to decline, the bone density to deteriorate, and actions that were formerly easy to perform may become challenging. Surprisingly, one of the reasons for this usually overlooked decline is a vitamin D shortage. Although vitamin D is well known for its role in bone health, it is also crucial for maintaining leg strength, balance, and overall functioning. The importance of this vitamin for preserving health and mobility in older persons will be covered in this article, along with how making sure one consumes enough of it can significantly enhance one's quality of life. The efficiency with which our skin can manufacture vitamin D from the sun decreases with age. A large portion of older adults spend less time outdoors due to mobility issues, lifestyle changes, or concerns about their skin. This results in a general inadequacy that progressively weakens muscles, which eventually leads to legs that are inconsistent and brittle. Insufficient amounts of vitamin D have been linked to muscle weakness, as several studies have shown. Elderly persons are more likely to fall as a result of this link. A study released in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that older adults with adequate vitamin D levels had better muscle strength, better balance, and better coordination, all of which reduced their risk of fractures and accidents. It was more difficult for those with a deficit to do everyday activities like standing up or climbing stairs because their muscle mass decreased more quickly. Vitamin D is in charge of a much greater range of advantages, even though calcium absorption and bone health are both crucial processes. It accomplishes this by boosting the rate of protein synthesis and enhancing neuromuscular transmission, two processes that have a big influence on muscle function. Without it, it will be difficult for your leg muscles to work correctly. Consider it as nourishment for the muscles in your legs. Numerous studies have demonstrated the important role vitamin D plays in the maintenance of fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are essential for balance and quick reflexes. These fibers help prevent falls by enabling legs to react faster to sudden changes in balance. Lack of adequate vitamin D reduces the effectiveness of these fibers, increasing the risk of injury, delaying reactions, and weakening muscle contractions. Seniors frequently suffer from chronic leg pain and stiffness, which is lessened by vitamin D's ability to reduce inflammation in muscle tissues. Those who frequently experience leg pain, such as cramps, stiffness, or pain that is inexplicable, may find substantial relief from the simple act of increasing their vitamin D levels. If vitamin D deficiency is ignored, it can cause serious health issues in addition to weaker legs. The most significant causes for concern are osteoporosis and fractures. Your bones will be weak and brittle if you don't get enough vitamin D, since it will make it harder for your body to absorb calcium. Just falling could cause a severe fracture, which would significantly limit one's freedom and movement. Cognitive decline, weakened immunity, and an elevated risk of cardiovascular disease are all linked to vitamin D deficiency. Its effect on bones and muscles is just one aspect of it. In addition to the risk of weaker legs, senior individuals who do not receive adequate vitamin D are also more likely to suffer chronic illnesses, which further lowers their quality of life. What can be done is the question at hand. The good news is that obtaining adequate amounts of vitamin D is not only easy, but it may also have transformational benefits. The most effective ways to boost your vitamin D levels and keep your legs strong and stable are listed here. First, exposure to sunlight. Even 15 to 30 minutes in direct sunlight, particularly in the morning or late afternoon, will naturally boost the body's production of vitamin D. The arms and legs are exposed for maximum absorption. However, sunscreen should be used with caution since it may result in a reduction in vitamin D production. 2. Vegetables high in vitamin D. Egg yolks, fortified dairy products, mushrooms, and fatty fish like salmon and mackerel can all help increase your intake of vitamin D, even though a diet alone might not be sufficient to meet daily needs. 3 extras. Many senior individuals, particularly those who spend a lot of time outdoors, absolutely need a vitamin D supplement. Most doctors recommend 800 to 1,000 IU daily for optimal bone and muscle health. For serious deficits, however, higher dosages can be needed under a doctor's supervision. Vitamin D levels may be determined with a straightforward blood test, and because it is so important in avoiding fractures and falls, many doctors regularly monitor elderly patients' levels. In contrast to younger individuals whose bones are still growing, older adults have a gradual loss of bone mass, increasing their risk of fractures. Elderly people are susceptible to severe injuries such as hip fractures, femur breaks, and lower limb stress fractures. Considering how frequent these injuries are, this is especially detrimental to the legs. The fall was, and may have been, fairly mild. Third, calcium in children and teens. Small injuries may not cause any problems, but for those who have inadequate calcium deposits, They might result in long recovery times or even irreversible mobility problems. Calcium is important for more than simply healthy bones. Additionally, it is necessary for muscle contraction. Whether you're standing up from a chair or taking a stride, your muscles work in intricate harmony with calcium ions. Muscle contractions brought on by calcium enable fluid and regulated motions. Muscles that don't have enough calcium may cramp, weaken, or find it difficult to generate the strength needed for stability. This explains why frequent leg cramps, slow movements, and a reduction in muscle endurance are common symptoms of calcium shortage. What are some ways to make sure your body is getting enough calcium it needs? Dairy items like cheese, yogurt, and milk are among the best sources, but they're not the only ones. Additional sources of calcium include leafy greens like bok choy, kale, almonds, tofu, sardines, and plant-based milks with added calcium. Variety is key. Including a variety of calcium sources in your diet helps to support bone health and ensure constant absorption. But eating might not always be enough for you, especially if you have dietary restrictions or problems with absorption. In these situations, calcium supplements may be helpful, particularly if used alongside vitamin D to increase absorption. However, it's important to strike the correct balance because too much calcium, especially from supplements, can lead to kidney stones, arterial deposits, and digestive problems. Calcium consumption for older persons should be between 1,000 and 1,200 milligrams per day, ideally from a combination of natural foods and supplements if necessary. Physical exercise is just as important as intake. Walking, resistance training, and even mild jogging are weight-bearing activities that promote bone building by assisting in the exact delivery of calcium to the muscles and bones where it is needed. Even consuming enough calcium won't be enough to fully strengthen the skeletal system without exercise. Not only does skipping calcium weaken your bones, but it also prevents you from moving freely, engaging in your favorite activities, and maintaining your independence. A life full of movement, security, and confidence begins with strong bones and healthy muscles, both of which require calcium. 2. Vitamin K is just as necessary as vitamin B6. When talking about essential vitamins for healthy bones, vitamin K, calcium, and vitamin D are frequently brought up. It is the vital element that prevents calcium from building up in soft tissues like arteries, where it could lead to constriction, circulation difficulties, and heart disease. Rather, it transports calcium to the bones where it is needed. By ensuring that calcium keeps your legs strong and flexible and fortifies your bones, vitamin K essentially acts as a traffic director. Elderly folks need to pay particular attention to this. Research indicates that people who consume more vitamin K tend to have better bone health, stronger bones, and a lower risk of fracture. By activating osteocalcin, a protein that binds calcium to the bone matrix, vitamin K improves bone density and fracture resistance. However, vitamin K is beneficial for more than simply bones. Additionally, it is necessary for strong muscles and joints. A common misconception is that having strong bones is the only component of having healthy legs. Limber joints and efficient muscles are other considerations. Research has demonstrated that vitamin K lowers inflammation in the joints, perhaps slowing the progression of osteoarthritis and easing knee stiffness, a prevalent issue among the elderly. The supplement you've been lacking to keep your knees moving and ease discomfort if they feel tight or stiff after sitting could be vitamin K. Weakened leg muscles are frequently associated with difficulties walking, balance issues, and a higher chance of falling. Recent studies have shown that vitamin K helps maintain muscle strength and coordination, especially in older persons, by regulating calcium levels in muscle cells, ensuring proper function, and avoiding awkward movements that could result in falls. Mostly found in plants, vitamin K1 can also be found in foods like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, Brussels sprouts, and collard greens. Aged cheeses, fermented foods like natto, fermented soybeans, and some animal items like liver and egg yolks all contain vitamin K2, which offers additional benefits. K2 helps transfer calcium into bones more than arteries do, and it has a longer half-life in the body. Increasing your intake of fermented foods and leafy greens is a wise natural strategy to increase your vitamin K levels. Every day, adding a serving of kale to your smoothie or some sautéed spinach to your dinner could have a significant impact. Supplements, however, might be necessary for people who have problems absorbing vitamin K from food, such as those who have long-term antibiotic use or digestive issues. Take care. Because vitamin K affects blood coagulation, if you're using blood thinners like warfarin, you should consult your doctor before increasing your intake. B6 vitamin. A lot of people don't realize how crucial vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, is for strong muscles and legs. Mobility is aided by many other nutrients, but B6 is necessary for nerve health, muscle regeneration, and making sure the body uses protein efficiently to build and maintain muscle mass. Lack of it can cause even the strongest muscles to weaken over time, making even seemingly simple activities like standing or climbing stairs quite difficult. It is frequently forgotten how important vitamin B6 is for nerve transmission and coordination. These impulses may be sluggish or misdirected when B6 is deficient, leading to numbness, tingling, and unsteady walking. Contrary to popular belief, which holds that these symptoms are a sign of age-related muscle atrophy, poor dietary intake actually impairs neuromuscular function. Another important function of vitamin B6 is to reduce inflammation-induced muscle fatigue. By regulating the body's inflammatory responses and reducing muscle soreness, vitamin B6 keeps legs more resilient and flexible. Boosting your vitamin intake. B6 intake may make a significant difference if you have been experiencing persistent stiffness or a slow recovery from physical activity. Red blood cell formation and muscle function both depend on vitamin B6. These cells distribute oxygen throughout your body, giving your muscles the endurance they require for extended exercise. A B6 deficiency may result in lower hemoglobin levels, which may prevent your muscles from receiving the oxygen they require. This can lead to early weariness and a reduction in endurance. If you frequently feel unusually tired after minor activities or short walks, your body may be signaling you that you need more B6. Thankfully, there are plenty of tasty and accessible meals that are high in this crucial vitamin. Fish like salmon and tuna, poultry, potatoes, chickpeas, bananas, and fortified cereals are also good sources. Your B6 levels may naturally rise if you include these foods in your diet, which will improve neurological and muscle performance. For people with dietary restrictions, poor nutritional absorption, or digestive problems, B6 supplements could be necessary to reach appropriate levels. Adults generally require 1.5 milliliters for women and 1.7 milliliters for men. However, recommendations for daily consumption vary by age and gender. Although consuming B6 through food is usually safe, high-dose supplements should be taken carefully as prolonged, excessive use may cause nerve damage. A balanced diet rich in B6 sources is the simplest strategy to provide a steady supply without unnecessary risks. Section 1. Magnesium. Pay close attention. In the background, magnesium ensures that your muscles receive the signals they require for relaxation and fluid contraction. It serves as the primary regulator of muscle activity, promoting stamina, lowering fatigue, and preventing spasms. A common but sometimes ignored sign of magnesium deficiency is restless legs syndrome and frequent evening leg cramps. Unexpected, intense leg cramps are common in the elderly, especially at night, and they interfere with sleep and recovery from everyday activities. It's not only agony here. It is an indication that the body is having trouble properly regulating the relaxation of muscles. Magnesium is essential for those with tense muscles and uncontrollably contracted muscles, because it reduces hyperactive nerve impulses and prevents unintended muscle spasms. But magnesium is important for more than just muscles. Bone density, health, and joints all depend on it. Despite the fact that calcium is sometimes stressed for bone strength, magnesium is necessary for calcium to function properly. This mineral helps regulate calcium transport, which guarantees that calcium is properly integrated into bones rather than resting in soft tissues, where it could lead to stiffness and joint pain. Magnesium is essential for overall mobility because studies have shown that higher magnesium consumption is associated with stronger bones and a lower risk of fractures in older adults. Common causes of magnesium shortage include stress, medications, and poor eating habits that quickly deplete the mineral. Proton pump inhibitors, diuretics, and several blood pressure drugs that reduce magnesium levels are among the many pharmaceuticals used by the elderly. When combined with diets deficient in foods strong in magnesium, this results in a general shortage that progressively worsens strength, endurance, and flexibility, because they are older and lack the necessary nutrients to support their activities. Many older people report having less stamina, walking shorter distances, climbing stairs more slowly, and feeling exhausted after simple tasks. Leg health may be improved almost instantly by replenishing magnesium levels, which can also increase energy, reverse cramps, and restore ease of movement. Leafy greens, legumes, nuts, seeds, and whole grains are some of the healthiest food sources. Legumes are particularly high in magnesium. Foods like avocados, pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, and black beans offer a natural way to maintain bone and muscle health. But for people who don't get enough from food alone, magnesium supplements, particularly magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate, which the body absorbs more readily, can be a good alternative. It's remarkable how things appear to change following magnesium replenishment. Once slow and despondent, elderly people find their legs responding with new vitality. Regular people who have stiffness or cramping in their muscles get relief, which enhances their range of motion and sleep quality. The neuromuscular connections that are in charge are regulated in part by magnesium. Even balance and coordination improve as a result. If this video was helpful to you, kindly hit the like button. It significantly facilitates our ability to provide you with more valuable information. We value your feedback, so please share your thoughts, questions, or recommendations for next topics in the comments section below.